never imagined that a phone call, in Dutch of all things, would turn my life upside down in the middle of a marble hotel lobby. 1 minute, I was scrubbing floors at the Grand Plaza Hotel, invisible in my uniform, where the gleam on the tiles mattered more than the name on your degree. The next minute, my phone rang with a number I recognized immediately. My last shot at grad school. And yes, I knew the rule. No personal calls. Manager Richards made that painfully clear, especially for people like me, part of the invisible crew. But after 6 years of crawling through rejection after rejection, of watching my dreams collect dust next to cleaning supplies, you tell me, what would you do? So I ducked behind one of those ridiculous oversized gold columns and answered in perfect Dutch. It was Professor Vanton from Amsterdam. We were deep into a conversation about missing paperwork when I looked up and froze. There they were. Richards, livid and standing next to her, Richard Coleman himself, the billionaire owner of the hotel. Their eyes locked on me like I'd just broken into Fort Knox. "Johnson, my office, now!" she snapped. And just like that, I was marched down to the basement. If you've ever felt every eye on you, some pitying, others just waiting for you to slip, you know that walk. At 29, the only black woman in housekeeping with a college degree, you'd think that might count for something. Spoiler alert, it didn't. In the basement, Richards went off. Phones off, especially in common areas. "What was that? French? Dutch?" I blurted. "Don't care if it's Martian," she hissed. "Mr. Coleman saw a cleaning lady chatting in the lobby. Never mind that the white receptionist ordered takeout on shift or that half the staff text their way through lunch. I got demoted to convention center bathrooms, double shifts, no overtime, classic punishment. That night, I lay in my tiny apartment, listening to the hum of night shift nurses, my framed linguistics degree staring at me like a joke. All those years of dreaming felt as useless as the broken heater in the corner. But the next morning, everything changed. HR called me in. Nobody knew why, not even the head receptionist. The elevator ride up felt like an out-of-body experience. I stood there invisible as ever, while suits murmured about mergers and bonuses I'd never see a penny from. When I walked into the HR office, the director looked at me carefully. "Have a seat, Johnson." I braced myself. Fired, probably. Instead, "Mr. Coleman wants to meet you." His office was larger than my entire apartment. He didn't smile, just flipped through my file like it was a puzzle. "Dutch, French, Italian, Mandarin?" "Correct. How?" he asked. "I heard you yesterday." I was speechless. He kept reading. 6 years cleaning my hotel. Georgetown honors, fluent in 6 languages. Why are you scrubbing floors? I had no answer. And then came the curveball. We're hosting a trade conference tomorrow. I need someone who can speak Dutch and Mandarin, not just translate. Understand the culture. Can you do that? You want me to clean their rooms? I asked, half sarcastic. He grinned. No. I want you to be the international relations coordinator, $5,000 a week, starting now. I nearly dropped my purse. When I walked out, new badge in hand, I ran into Richards. Her face, priceless. What are you doing here? She spat. Working, I said. Miss Richards, international relations coordinator. Direct request from Mr. Coleman. She tried to argue, but I cut her off. Georgetown. 6 languages. My file's been here for 6 years. Later that day, I met Zoe Williams, a new HR analyst who whispered she'd been rooting for me from day one. You should have seen the rejection patterns, she said. I knew something was off. She'd tried to alert Whitmore, the operations director, about how my transfer requests kept getting denied. He brushed her off, just like he brushed off me. Conference day arrived. And suddenly, I wasn't invisible. I was gliding through rooms of executives, switching effortlessly between Dutch and Mandarin, catching translation mistakes that could have ruined million-dollar deals. One Mandarin phrase would have insulted a Chinese partner. I caught it seconds before it went to print. Coleman overheard. Whitmore said he hired the best, he muttered. He hired someone who can't say hello, I replied. Then I told him why. All the translation contracts went to Whitmore's niece, who'd never studied Mandarin formally. And then came the twist. One of the Dutch delegates recognized me. Not as a hotel staffer, but from an academic journal article I'd written years ago. Word spread like wildfire. Suddenly, everyone wanted to talk to me. Not because I was fluent, but because I was the expert they'd unknowingly been quoting. Behind the scenes, Zoe and I had been collecting evidence, inflated contracts, fake credentials, proof of discrimination. On the final day of the conference, Whitmore tried to push another faulty translation through. I barged into Coleman's office and laid it all out. He didn't blink. Called an emergency board meeting. The entire staff gathered. Coleman stood at the front and blew it all open. Nepotism, racism, financial fraud. Whitmore? Fired on the spot. Richards? Suspended. Coleman ordered a full internal audit. And then, he turned to me. Effective immediately, he said. Dr. Zoe Johnson is our new global director of internal communications. The cleaning crew in the back burst into applause. Tears ran down their faces. I could hardly believe it. As Whitmore was escorted out, he snarled, "You won't last a month." I smiled, knowing I had recordings of every threat and whispered slur, saved just in case. That night, in my new office overlooking the city, I finally called my mom. Voice cracking, I said, "I did it, Mom." 6 years of being told I wasn't a cultural fit. 6 years of being overlooked. And now, I was running the department. Resumes got lost. Opportunities vanished. And now, here I am. Not just making it, but rewriting the entire playbook. What began as one bold act, one phone call answered in Dutch, sparked a chain reaction I never could have predicted. Within 6 months, the Invisible Talents initiative I launched helped promote 147 employees. 83% from marginalized communities who'd been overlooked for years. Translation costs dropped. Customer satisfaction hit record highs. And for the first time, our hotel chain ranked #1 in diversity and inclusion. Richards? She's managing laundry at a low-tier hotel in California, fitting punishment for years spent guarding doors that weren't hers to lock. Whitmore? Blacklisted from the luxury industry. His niece? Forced to return the ill-earned money and, in a twist of poetic justice, enrolled in an ethics course funded by the very foundation Coleman and I built. The day I introduced our company-wide mentorship program, I told the truth about my mother, a brilliant woman with a degree, scrubbing floors just like I did, never seen for who she was. Your worth, she used to say, is not something they get to decide. I wish she could have witnessed it all, but I carry her words with me every single day. So tell me, what does justice look like to you? Because I've learned it's not just firing the gatekeepers, it's tearing down the gate entirely and building a path for everyone still waiting outside. If this story sparks something in you, speak up, share your truth, challenge the silence. Because sometimes all it takes is the courage to answer one phone call and refuse to hang up. No matter who's watching.